Hello everyone, this is a 2003 Oldsmobile Alero. This is the 3.4 liter V6, and today we're going to be replacing the spark plugs and spark plug wires. So before you start this, just make sure that the engine is cool, and then we'll start by inspecting our new spark plugs. So here's our spark plug that we are replacing. These are ACDelco Iridium spark plugs. If you're interested, there is the part number. And what we're going to be looking for is we want to check our gaps. So this is a little gapper tool. They can be found relatively cheaply. And what we want is 0.06 inches for our gap, and that's per the Haynes manual. So if we look here, we can see that we're about at 0.05 and a half there, 0.55, and so what we can do is open this gap just a little bit and check our gap after doing that, and that's just about perfect. So we're gonna go through all 6 of our spark plugs and double check that the gap is correct, even though they're supposedly pre-gapped, and then I will catch back up. So while you're adjusting the gap on your spark plugs and double checking that it's correct, there's 2 other inspection points that you're going to want to do to your spark plugs. First, you're going to want to check out this porcelain and make sure that there's no cracks or damage to it. And from the electrode and the top, not only setting your gap, but you're going to want to confirm that the electrode is directly above. So you just want to check that it's directly straight, check your gap, and then just double check your porcelain here to make sure that there's no cracks or visible damage. So we're going to start by removing these spark plug wires on the front. So these are the easiest to get to, and these are, starting on the left here, your spark plug 2, 4, and 6 on the front. So we're first going to want to disconnect these these holder here, this plastic holder. So we're just going to stick a screwdriver in there, and that'll open up, and we're going to start with just spark plug 2. So we're going to just remove this wire first, and then we'll remove this tab on this side. Open that. There's a zip tie there. So I'll grab some cutters. Just be careful that I'm cutting what I want to cut. And then for this last one, we will down, trying to get some leverage, and so we're going to continue working on number 2, and I have spark plug boot pliers. These might come in handy, especially on this V6. There's a part number for the Nipex there. Just makes it a little bit easier, especially on the back. These will come in handy. What we're going to do here is just grip your spark plug boot. And on the front here, you probably don't even need the pliers, but we're just going to go ahead and remove this wire and just put it up there for now. And then we're going to start. If you have compressed air, it might be good to blow around that spark plug. But what we're going to do is grab our spark plug socket. So this is a 5/8 spark plug socket, and with a little extension on it, and we are going to remove this spark plug. Alright, so there's our old spark plug, and you can see it's kind of dirty, but it's not too bad. You can check to see if these have oil on them or not. If so, it's not a good sign. But you can see they don't look terrible. So I just came into possession of this car. I wanted to replace the spark plugs and the wires and just get everything in a good shape. So I'll remove these other two, and then I'll come back to show what it looks like getting the rear three off. So we're going to start, instead of removing these two wires and the other spark plugs, we're going to stick with just number 2 and replace that first, and we'll just do one at a time. So I'll finish removing this spark plug wire. So you can see here is our wire, and I'm just going to go ahead and remove it off the top, and then we will get this one out of the way. You can see from comparing our old to our new spark plugs, they're the same kind of spark plug, so that's what you want to look for. And we will go ahead and install this spark plug. Now, if you have compressed air, like I said, it's good to spray around those connections before you remove the existing spark plug. What you should also do is put anti-seize on these threads. I don't have any anti-seize, so we're just going to install them, and then we'll torque them to spec. So these will be 132 inch-pounds, which comes out to about 11 foot-pounds, and I will show you how that is done. So I'm going to start by grabbing our spark plug socket here, and we will install. I'm going to see if I can get this started by hand, and that way we don't cross thread anything. It's a little hard to get started by hand, so I'll just try to be careful with the ratchet. So try to go left and then go right, and there we go. Yeah, that's caught. So that's starting to thread in. Alright, so now it's getting tight, so what I'm going to do is get out my torque wrench, and if I can give any bit of advice here, I would not get a fixed head torque wrench. I would get a ratcheting head, and you're about to see why here. So what we're going to do, so this torque wrench is set to 11 foot-pounds. That's what this torque wrench is measured in. So we are going to get it on our spark plug and start to turn. Is this necessary? Probably not. But we will torque it to spec, since we have the tools and we have the torque spec. So it's better to do things right. Okay, so that is now to spec, and I'm going to set that down here. Now, when you order spark plug wires, you're going to have both short and long wires. Now for spark plug 2, 4, and 6, the wires that you're going to be using are the longer wires. So to do that, what I'm going to do first is use some dielectric grease, and I'm just going to put a little bit on my finger, put it inside the spark plug boot. That way the plastic over time doesn't fuse with the spark plug, and it makes it a little bit easier getting off the boot, as well as it saves or prevents potential arcing. So what I'm going to do is get a little bit on my finger. I'm just gonna Get it on the inside of that boot. And then I'll do this here. Don't gotta go crazy, a little bit goes a long way. And yep, so you'll feel it press in. And what I'm gonna do, I'll run this through this first clamp, run it through the second. This clamp up top, you can see that previously it was just floating around. I think it should go on this this mounting bolt here. Seems like a logical place where it should go. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. Good. So to remove this bolt, I'm just gonna use a 10mm and crack that loose. I'm going the right way. Comes loose pretty easy. And now that I have that off, I'm going to see maybe what the best way that this thing would fit on here. The bugs are out in force. Thread. Okay, so does this go into that little hole? No. So it might be like that. I'm just gonna get this started by hand. Finish tightening that. So now we have this here correctly, and we can add our spark plug. So we'll connect the top of this boot there. It clicks in nice and firm, and then I'll continue doing spark plug 4 and 6. I'll do that off camera because it'll be the same process, and then we'll pick back up in the back where it might be a little bit more tricky. So I took off this clamp here, it wasn't attached to anything, and you're gonna see closest to me, so I'm on the passenger side of the vehicle, we'll have 1, 3, and 5 spark plugs. These are gonna be pretty tricky. I don't know the best way of doing this, so I'm just going to start with 1 and try to use this boot puller to my advantage. See if I can get this on that boot down there. And I'm actively getting bit by mosquitoes. Did that? Nope, I lost it. It's kind of tricky to see. There. So that's number 1. How I'm going to get a ratchet down there, we will figure out. But so here's this wire. So again, you have 3 long wires that come in a set. I'll put part numbers in the description, and now we're working on the short wires. So what I'll do now is get my ratchet and spark plug socket, and we will hope and pray that we can get in here. Maybe I can feel it first. Oh mama, I think if we take a look, at a spark plug socket, I think I ripped the metal off the inside of there. the little connector. So we got to get that off. What I might use is a pair of needle nose pliers. So, because this is not what you want to do. Okay. So that came out of the boot when I pulled the boot off. The spark plug boot pliers are supposed to help with that. Evidently, I don't know why they still came off. Getting ate alive by mosquitoes. So we're not going to think about it too much, and we're going to get this spark plug out. So I just have my same extension. See if I can see my spark plug. I can't. Here it is. Mosquitoes in the eye. There we go. I was worried I'd have to take this whole top unit off here, but does not seem like it. No. Still going. Did I get it? No. There it is. It? Yeah. Okay. So that's that rear number 1 spark plug, and I'll go ahead and remove the other 2. If there's anything special that I have to do to get to 3 and 5, I'll be sure to record it. So this is a little bit later on. Just ate dinner, but coming back out here to finish up and kind of making sure that all these wires are tucked away and tidy. Getting those spark plugs out of the back was not that bad. I thought it would be a lot worse. Just kind of take your time, and I had to use a couple different size extensions and putting them together to get it to work, but I don't have a flex head ratchet, and it still worked well. One note is each one of those spark plug boots in the back, this little metal kit piece came out, and I'm getting ate alive by mosquitoes, but that is something to be careful about. If you are worried about that, I would pick up a set of wires before you attempt the replacing the spark plugs. But the spark plug boot pillar worked good, and yeah, wasn't that bad. But I'm getting bit up by mosquitoes, so I will let you go. So here we are, just as a conclusion. Just took it for a test drive. Used a scan tool as well. No codes being thrown. All good. No misfires. One thing I did do was ended up adding back a zip tie there. You can see in the center, just to make sure that the wires are not in contact with this top cover here, just to make sure that we try to just preserve them, make them last as long as they can. Overall, not too bad. A little tricky getting to these back spark plugs, but overall it went well. So thank you very much for watching. Hope it was helpful, and Christ is Lord.